Guardian Leviosa. Hi guys, did you like my video which was in Harry Potter World? I went there today to Leeston Studios, Warner Brothers, and I had an amazing experience. Obviously you got to see part of it. Me riding a broom, that is amazing. I had an amazing time. Obviously it wasn't just riding the broom, I got to go inside Hogwarts Express and Platform 9 and 3/4. I got to see the Gryffindor Common Room. I got to see Dumbledore's office and all the amazing sets from the actual movies. It was really an amazing experience. I saw Dementors. I saw all of the costumes from all of the different characters, including Sirius and obviously Ron, Hermione, and Harry himself. It was an amazing day. I really enjoyed it. But and also I got Luna Lovegood's wand here. I've always really liked her and kind of related to her because of I guess because I know what it's like to be a bit of an outcast to some degree. So, and also because I kind of think she's a bit fun. She believes in things that not necessarily many people do, which again is something that I can kind of really relate to in some way as well, like Nargles, for instance. And she's, one of the only ones that can see the Thestrals. So yeah, I'm into Harry Potter, but I'm also into fairies. And so I want to talk a little bit about fairies today. Because this is technically another Jixie's Monthly Obsessions video. It's supposed to be the one for December, which is long overdue. So obviously you can tell my current obsession at the moment is Harry Potter and Harry Potter World and all of that stuff. Oh, and guys, I forgot to show you this. I really want to show you this. Have you seen this witch? And it's got a picture of me. And it says, have you seen this witch? Approach with extreme caution. Do not attempt to use magic against this witch. Any information leading to their arrest shall be duly rewarded. And so that is, a lovely picture of me looking like all sort of, well, I think I'm the only wanted witch that actually smiles. I don't know why I did that, to be honest. And I smiled when I was on the broom as well, like grinning from ear to ear. And in fact, there was another picture that we didn't end up getting because the pictures are relatively expensive. But there was another picture that where there was a Dementor right there, and I didn't realise because it was a green screen, and I was just smiling from ear to ear, and you wouldn't do that with a Dementor there. So I felt like a bit of an idiot, really. I wish they'd told us that there were supposed to be Dementors like right there. Because you don't smile if there's a Dementor around. If you know anything about Harry Potter, you will understand that. Anyway, but this is about Jixie's Monthly Obsessions, but it's also kind of a little bit about fairies as well, because I want to clear up a few things. And the main thing that I want to clear up is about a little channel called Fairy Truths, which is also linked to another channel which is called Fairy Obsessions, and I will link that in the description down below. And I want to clear up a little bit of a misunderstanding between Fairy Truths and Fairy Obsessions and me. So basically, Fairy Truths and Fairy Obsessions, their stuff is as real as mine is. All of their spells and all of their potions and all the stuff that they have to do with fairy pendulums, everything in all of their channel is, to my knowledge, of course, I'm not a very advanced fairy. I've only been fairying since the summer. So to my knowledge, it's real. But then of course, there are things that might end up conflicting with my stuff, and that's mainly because obviously, even though we have the same queen, Kyrena, the wildlife and the animals in America and Canada are very different than the animals and wildlife and plant life in Europe and Britain. So obviously that greatly affects the kind of spells that you can do and the potency of the spells. So our information may conflict quite a bit sometimes, not always, it shouldn't do, but it might do sometimes, and I'm not saying that her information is incorrect. It certainly is not to my knowledge, but I do advise you, and I put this in my underneath my today's Harry Potter video because someone asked me about this. I basically, if you come from America, I suggest you follow Fairy Truth and Fairy Obsession spells, because it will probably use more plant life and things to do with where you live. And if you live in Europe, and maybe my spells, like, and obviously with the fairy schools, obviously I only gave Europe schools. Me and Katie only talked about the schools in Europe, whereas obviously she will talk about the schools that she knows at least in America. I'll try and find out about the schools in Canada. If I don't know, I can't remember if she says anything about the schools in Canada. But certainly I think she does about the schools in America. So same thing, just different areas basically. So so that's just kind of clearing up a little thing about fairy truths. I certainly have, so I mean, basically, in a way, kind of think of us as like the two sides of the same coin, basically. Even though I've obviously not met her, and she's not met me and doesn't really know anything about me, I don't think. We are kind of technically two sides of the same coin, because we do the same thing, we're just from different places, and we have different methods. So that's basically clearing up that situation with Fairy Truth and Fairy Obsessions. Very much respect what they do, bringing fairy knowledge to the non-fairy folk, or people who would like to become fairies, because let's face it, there's always room for more fairies in the world, always room for more people who will spread love and light and joy, and basically just like love of nature to the world. There's always room for those sorts of people. So that's why I do this. That's why I do these videos, because having a passion for nature and living things, growing things, and helping nature is only going to help us, really, isn't it? So that's why I bring fairy knowledge to the world, and she does the same. So I have nothing bad to say about her, or them, should I say. So that's Fairy Truths and all of that stuff. I will do a video. Obviously, I'm not uploading on Sunday because I'm going to be away. But if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I will be posting a few little snippets of things on there while I'm away. So I won't be uploading on Sunday, but I will be doing a video very soon about how fairy days affect human days, and any more questions that you have, write them in the description or in the comments down below, or on Twitter, whether it's fairy related, or it's book related, or it's Dan's phone number. If you're a girl and you want Dan's phone number, that's still available. He is still single to my knowledge. So, whatever question it is that you have, just put it in the comments down below. Always happy to read them, always happy to answer them, always happy to talk to you guys and find out about your own fairy journeys, and find out about how you are, basically, and tell me about yourselves. I always like to know what is going on with you guys. So, that's, what else am I talking about for Jixie's Monthly Obsessions? Another thing that I'm actually into at the moment is, I'm really into sort of, I've started to get, today is not any sort of, representation of that. While I've been at Harry Potter World, I've not eaten very well, but I kind of have been getting into, more healthy eating and trying to, again, the health kick, again, but I found some amazing recipes, and an amazing channel called, Joanna's So Official, which I'm going to put, again, in the description down below, so you can see some of the amazing recipes that she's come up with. Because, they're very healthy, which obviously as fairies, we kind of need to be, and eat lots of vegetables and eat lots of fruits, because, we give to them and they give back to us and make us energetic and make us healthy. And I've been eating a lot of burgers today, so today is an example of that, but I have recently been trying to be much more healthy. So I'll put her in the description down below. I really love her channel. I'm kind of obsessed with her channel, actually, and still into Holistic Habits channel as well. I really love Holistic Habits, hair care tips, and sort of relax and de-stress tips, especially if you're still in school, or if you're in college, or if you're studying in any way. Her de-stress tips, especially like salt lamps, which, you know, guys, I love them. I love salt lamps so much. They're really good for water fairy spells and just for general de-stress. So, you know, she has lots of tips on de-stressing and healthy eating and tips for healthy hair. And I also, another thing that I want to talk to you about also at some point in the future is fairy makeup. Yes, I know the fairy festival is creeping towards us, and I still haven't done my fairy makeup routine or talked anything about fairy makeup, which I will be doing hopefully very soon. Just keep your eyes and your ears peeled for that one. But yeah, so I'm kind of into those two channels right now, which I will link in the description, so you can have a look at that, because the ideas and things like that, you know, I mean, yes, for today was like a one-off thing. We had a long drive down to London. It was like 3.5 hours there and like 5 hours back or something. So it was pretty long, and so it was kind of a eat on the go kind of thing. So today wasn't really an example of that. But recently I have been really healthy, I think, and trying to take my dogs for walks more often, although Coco is having trouble at the moment with his lead. He keeps trying to, poor baby, he keeps trying to bite it, like I'm trying to sort of urge him to walk, and he keeps biting his lead, which is funny to watch, but he's still not getting it. He still doesn't like being on the lead, poor baby. Yeah. So I'm trying to walk more often as well, but again, today hasn't really been an example of that. Today's been a bit of a stuff my face with anything that I can get hold of kind of thing. What else have I been into? I've loved some parody videos. I think I'm kind of into like parody things right now. I'll link some of the things that I've been into in the description as well. I found the Descendants Danny Elephant video, which I cannot stop watching. Completely obsessed with that. So yeah, I'm into kawaii at the moment. I love kawaii. In fact, I've ordered 2 new kawaii t-shirts. In fact, I think one is a jumper and one is a t-shirt. As soon as they come, would you like to see them? I will show you them. They are amazing. I went on Spreadshirt. I will link that in the description as well. So many things in the description. So I went on Spreadshirt and designed 2 amazing kawaii t-shirts, which feel free to copy them if you want to go on Spreadshirt. And if you cannot afford to go on Spreadshirt, which I completely and totally understand, Amazon have a good range of kawaii t-shirts and kawaii pretty much everything. Amazon is amazing. Amazon is like my one-stop shop for pretty much everything. That and Etsy. Etsy is amazing as well. So which do you guys like? Do you prefer Amazon or do you prefer Etsy? And what do you usually buy on both channels, on both sites rather? So let me know. I'm interested to know. And what else have I been into? That's kind of it really. Just lots of kawaii, lots of Harry Potter. And I've kind of been see everything that I get into is mainly due to watching other people's channels, because other people are so inspiring to me. I love watching other channels. I've been watching Jessica Callaghan Fazard, and she's disabled like me. And I think that's what I really admire in other YouTubers, is people who are disabled like me but still like have a YouTube presence and also kind of just really don't act disabled. I kind of really respect that. Like, for example, Emily Davison, she's called Davison, Emily Davison, who does the Fashionista channel. She is amazing. She's really turned out. She does her hair all nice, and she has her makeup all nice and things like that. And Jessica Callaghan Fazard, I hope I pronounced that right. She's disabled, she's not blind, but she's kind of disabled, and she has a few different different things, and she loves like vintage hair, vintage clothes. So this is kind of what this is inspired by today. I kind of I've had this dress for quite a while, and I wore it today because it's got stars on it from Harry Potter. Not from Harry Potter, but like it was kind of inspired by Harry Potter, but also kind of by my vintage vibe. So I mean, I can't do vintage hair because I can barely curl my own hair, because I find that stuff really hard because of my sight issues. But I love vintage dresses, I love vintage makeup, I love pearls. Pearls are amazing. I just love them. And obviously there's a water fairy. Pearls are my thing. I love pearls so much. So that's kind of been my thing as well. Like, I love vintage 30s, 40s, 50s. That's kind of, I suppose, some people would say that's not really vintage, but I say that's vintage. But then again, some people say that like 80s and 90s is vintage, and I don't say that because I was born in the 80s and I grew up in the 90s, so the idea of that being vintage makes me cry. Please don't say that the 90s is vintage, because it's not. It's just not. The 90s, I know it was quite a while away, but if you start calling it retro or vintage, I'll just feel very old and very sad. So yeah, anyways, but I like 1930s, 40s and 50s stuff. I like 60s as well. I like the shift dresses and things like that. If you are interested in me sort of finding a few things for you that are sort of 1930s, 40s, 50s and 60s, and I will put those in Twitter, because I think that's probably the easiest way to do that, putting some pictures of things that I personally like and would probably get on Twitter, so you can have a look at them. If you're a girl, maybe. If you're a guy, maybe you probably wouldn't be interested in that. And yeah, so I'm gonna say peace, guys. And let me give you another shot of my beautiful. It actually comes in a really lovely little box, and it says Luna Lovegood there. And it comes in this lovely look. We went to Ollivander's and we saw it all, and it comes in this gorgeous little kind of display thing. It's not squished in properly. I don't know why it's not squished in properly. And they told me when I itchiness. When I took this to the till, they said that it's very fragile because of the tulip. Which, hang on, can I show you this? The tulip thing at the apparently these like little points can snap off if you're not really careful with them. So I want to have a bit of a swish and a flick often, but I'm really worried that it's gonna kind of snap off. I'm very aware that it's obviously carved wood. So yeah, but I absolutely adore it. It actually does look like a tulip, guys. I mean, look at that. That's pretty awesome. I think that when they're in the hands of the actual actors in the film, you can't really get an idea and an understanding of what they actually look like until you actually see how amazing the detail is. Like how much work they put into every single wand. It's really amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with this right now. So I'm going to say peace. Or I'm actually going to say, what should I say to say goodbye? Nox or Mischief Managed. I'll say Mischief Managed today because it's a Harry Potter theme. Let me just make sure that I'm clicking the right thing. Right, Mischief Managed.